Nuno has been eliminated from the Squid Games, really and truly. His tenure within North London seems to be over. We're going to skip straight into that very shortly. But yeah, Nuno Espirito Santo, literally in this last few moments, has been sacked. It's over, innit? It's as simple as that. It's over. There's no point crying now. You're gone, in it. And to be honest, you did hear he was like, what? Psh, you heard he was that again. You heard he was very down on the list of targets that Spurs wanted to move for in the end. And sometimes you get what you pay for. You know, Nuno, with respect, I think he's quite cowardly in his tactics. I think he was very cowardly against Manchester United, and us and United going into the game were a bruised animal. You know, a goal conceded. Who knows? United might have crumbled really and truly. And I think considering that United team, you being at home, the very fact that you didn't really get at them, press them, or anything, with respect, is cowardly. Clearly, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to leave Man United, but you could sit there and say players are potentially still playing for him, or they might just be playing for the badge or playing for themselves, but it looks like they're playing for him. Spurs players look disillusioned, didn't look like they knew what system was, didn't look like they believed in it. It's very stale, you know, not to have a shot on target, not to attack, not to show any intensity. Of course, players need to take accountability. Players were appalling. But the manager, and I honestly think he's been sacked for subbing Lucas Moura. We all saw it, you know, we all said that's your strongest player. I don't know what he tried to do. You're moving Son to the right-hand side. You know, he looks like a bit of a donut because he's talked down the players that aren't involved in the squad, and then they've been involved, and then he's had to call upon them. You know, I felt, even though I'm not a Spurs fan and I love it, I felt Nuno sounds, it's bewildering when he comes out with things, because they took about 65 minutes to break down Burnley, and then he said his reasoning for Lo Celso playing because he felt he played good. I don't think Lo Celso played good, and I don't see what he brought to the table. I mean, when the chips are up, you see what a man's about, and you know, Nuno's just out of his depth, really and truly. He just wasn't cut up to task, and you get what you pay for. You see why he wasn't up high on the list of targets. He'll get another job, but you know, all them Arsenal fans that were waffling, oh, we should have got him, he's better than Arteta, he's this, that, and the third. But he can't do it. He can't be on the front foot. He can't coach attacking bits and pieces of play. Clearly, the defensive record at Spurs, at least where he's concerned, is overstated, because they're conceding mad goals. They're barely creating anything. The team is disillusioned. Now, Daniel Levy and the owners of this club, they need to they need to replenish the playing squad. You know, they haven't really. Romero looks like a good find, but they haven't replaced the glory days of, I know Lloris is still there, but typically Danny Rose, who, you know, even dropping Davis for Reguilon, smoking moon rocks, really and truly. Look at the Ronaldo goal. Ronaldo's lured him in like a baby, like a grown man taking candy from a baby. He's lured him in, and he's rubbed him out there with that goal. You know, Cavani's goal. You know, I don't know what Spurs are doing. You know, I felt sorry for Skip, because Skip shit, and he got caught. He got kind of done dirty. But Højbjerg's put him in it. You know, I think anytime you're persisting on a midfield with Højbjerg and Skip, you know, again, you got to try really hard to have a worse pivot than Fred and McTominay, really and truly. So, you know, Nuno deserved to go. And if I read some of hit the report that's come out, well, it's a short. I can't lie. I thought Spurs have done him dirty, people. I'm not even gonna lie. The club can today announce that Nuno Espirito Santo and his coaching staff, Ian Cathro, Rui Barbosa, and Antonio Diaz, have all been relieved of all their duties. You know, Fabrizio Parisi, who, again, it looked like Fonseca was taking the Spurs job before he came in. He said, I know how much Nuno and his coaching staff wanted to succeed, and I regret that we have taken the decision. Nuno is a true gentleman and will always be welcome here. We should like to thank him and his coaching staff and wish them well for the future. A further coaching update will follow in due course. So again, Spurs have looked to nip this in the bud and not persist with it. They're linked with Conte. We'll get into all of that. Fonseca's name's been thrown back in. Brendan Rodgers' name in the last few minutes is doing the rumour mill, as is Graham Potter. Now, again, if I'm Graham Potter, of course, you could say a Spurs is a step up and things, but are you going to get the stability that you're going to get at Brighton? Are you going to get the time? And he's under a big contract at Brighton. You know, Brendan Rodgers, with respect, in fact, disrespectfully to Spurs, bro, if you're leaving, you'd rather listen to what Man United are saying. You know, even Conte, I know that you've worked with Fabio Parisi before, and that's probably tipped the balance with Spurs, and maybe you wanted to take over, but is it worth taking over Tottenham Hotspur mid-season with that level of playing squad? I do think Conte gets a bit more of a tune out of these players, but you know, do you want to risk your reputation? I don't know if he's given assurances that money will be spent in January. I think Conte and Spurs could be quite good, especially with, you know, the two Italians and the players that are looking to be sourced by Spurs. But Nuno was just out of his depth. He just weren't levels. And you know what? He's had the worst possible start to a Monday morning, but it was coming really and truly. There was little things brewing on Saturday evening, stuff rumbling, you know, numerous updates throughout yesterday. And it looked like today could be the beginning of the end. So again, Spurs clearly are talking to agents, sounding out potential people and whatnot. That's where the article is concerned on the official Spurs website. Um, News are reporting and saying Tottenham are actually in talks to appoint Antonio Conte today after late talks. Apparently, Tottenham's managing director Fabio Peretti believes that he can persuade his previous colleague with Spurs now ready to offer a 3-year contract, and you're going to need to give him big deals. And again, like with Jose, if it goes wrong, it's going to cost a lot. Apparently, yesterday you did see they're eyeing up Sergio Cancelo. I think that's the Porto gaffer who's been doing bits with Porto in the Champions League at a point. Paulo Fonseca's obviously, he said he was going Newcastle, and he said he, you know, to the point where, and he said he was going Spurs, to the point where they were actually planning pre-season targets and what they want to do before the managing director came in. So I don't want to say rule out Fonseca, but I don't know if the managing director feels him. Keep your opinions coming. If I read out the article, Tottenham sacked Nuno Espirito Santo after just 4 months in charge, considering he won the league in August with these boys. That's a bit harsh. They pulled the trigger after a dismal Man United defeat. And like I said, the very fact that Man United, after losing 5-0, and you know, against Liverpool, fair play, was able to look as sound as they were defensively, build that confidence that came with that, keep a clean sheet, rarely not even troubled at all of note, really. You know, that says it all, and that says it all about Nuno, in that, you know, both of you lot's jobs was on the line. If you was to have beat Man United, you'd still be in your job or put in a better performance. Instead, you lot were toothless, no shots on target, you know. It's like trying to nail jelly to a wall. You know, they got no creativity. You know, they wouldn't know what creativity was if it slapped them in the face. You know, it's absolute terrible. It's lovely to see, you know, lovely to see as an Arsenal fan. But yeah, it's not levels really and truly. They've parted company with him. Apparently, Daniel Levy was reluctant to make a knee-jerk decision, but it's not a knee-jerk decision. This has been there for weeks, you know, with Spurs. Yeah, they've lost their last couple of games, but their football has been dire. Now, they didn't care about it in August, but you know, for me, you lost the players a long time ago. Or did you, with respect, did you ever have the players? You know, with respect, you can't really go from Jose to Nuno. You know, say what you want about Jose and how he does things, but that's bloody Jose Mourinho. You could imagine Nuno Espirito Santo came in there, tried to let his nuts swing, and you know, but show some bravado and whatnot. And it's just allow it, fam. You're just like a supply teacher in school that just come in here trying to show and regulate people. Just allow it. And I think very quickly the Spurs players need to pull their pants up and man up and things like that. But you can see people are not playing for you because they don't believe in what you're doing. You know, they don't believe in what you're asking of them, what you're demanding of them. And he's just out of his depth, and his reputation's taking a hit. This was a man earmarked for Spurs at a time, United at a time, Arsenal at a time, just bigger jobs. And you know, you can't really, you know, he's clearly has some talent, but myth people. And like this article said, Tottenham's depressing loss to Manchester United. It weren't depressing for me, but like that game, we're gonna get onto the Premier League in a minute. But that game was a mazza because you would have thought United with a team or go down at one with a team or go down in the second half. I feel it was not even, but like, you know, United a better team in the first half, but they're not like clear of Spurs. It's not because no one's really doing much. Second half there was though, really. And it's just the manner in which they were doing things. So yeah, man, they've sacked him and his coaching staff. They're obviously eyeing up who the next potential target is. There's going to be a bunch of rumors in that relation, people. Yeah, man. Apparently, and the booze, you know, obviously when you're looking shaky, the booze, you know, Kane's getting booed. So well, the gloves are off with them Spurs fans are concerned. Kane's getting booed, the team's getting booed at halftime, man are leaving. You know, people are voting with their feet, and that speaks volumes. You know, no football fan, you know, even Spurs fans, no football fan base is just going to come out and start, regardless what they feel. They're not going to boo their manager and do all of these things, especially when a man's been in it for 4 months. But people have been following that club up and down the country, following it wherever, however they're doing it. And they've had enough, and it's all come to a head. And as I said, bloody fantastic to watch, you know. And you look at his record, you know, again, when you think of Nuno, the one thing you thought of probably is defensive stability. You can't look at the system. You can't really say an individual player's improved. The only person that's probably loved it is Skip, guy. He's played every week, really and truly. Bro, Skip and Højbjerg is a tired midfield. I'm sorry, you know, but it's absolute mazza. When you look at Nuno's record as Tottenham boss, games, he's played 17. He had 7 losses, 8 wins, and 2 draws. He scored 21 goals and conceded 23. And I would say where those above him are concerned, people, is, you know, the planning, the pardon me, the cycle of that Spurs squad is dead. You know, you might as well. Listen, it's stupid, but I wouldn't. I would probably keep him, but you probably should look to the way Kane's moving. Unless a new manager comes in, a new lease of life, probably should look to get that one done. The man's being held to the rest. He looks like he's going through the motions. You know, you're bordering on November. In fact, you are in November now. Happy New Month, people. And he don't look like he's finding his form right now. Don't know what's going on with Ndombele. Incredibly error-prone defense and a poor unit. The player of the caliber of the squad is not good enough to kick on where Spurs were left in their heydays under Pochettino and things like that. I know they thought they did something in world football. From that, you know, the replenishment of that squad's not enough, and even to the point where you look at Carlos Vinicius and Gareth Bale, you know, that's 20 plus goals going out your team. You know, if you let them go, one was on, both are on loan, you know, you let them go. You cannot let 20 odd goals walk out your team and then not replace it. And then suddenly, you know, Son's not really bagging them right now. Kane's not bagging them. You know, if them man are not scoring, you know, Moura's never really been a historical goal scorer, even though he should. You're definitely not looking at that midfield, bro. Goals win games, you know, and he's not scoring enough. And if you can't keep them out of your net and you're conceding, you know, it's negativity. So he needs to keep it moving. I mean, all I would say is that if he was never really in your thoughts of being first choice, you probably have a bag of targets that you could holler in. You know, how bad is that job? You know, how unconvincing was Daniel Levy and all of these guys if, you know, Nuno was so down on your list that all these other guys, for a variety of reasons, whether it was, I don't believe in your project, I don't think there's stability to warrant leaving my current situation and going to yours, whatever it is, you have to wonder, why did no one want to take it, really, if it's meant to be exciting times and Spurs are trying to challenge and do this and rebuild and all of these things, people. So yeah, apparently he was way down the list of potential candidates. Obviously Spurs tried to get Nagelsmann, didn't bang. Brendan Rodgers at the time didn't bang. Ten Hag didn't bang. Return for Pochettino didn't bang. Conte didn't bang, even though they're trying to get that one there. Paulo Fonseca and obviously Gattuso's thrown in. They're looking at the they're looking at the poor old gaffer. Apparently, Ryan Mason could come in for a second stint as caretaker boss. To be fair to you, my Spurs brethren, I should find the text. He's like, we might as well get Ryan Mason, car. I think Nuno hates Spurs. And I was thinking, what do you mean he hates Spurs? But when I see him take off Lucas Moore, I was like, yeah, all right. You either hate Spurs or you don't know what you're doing, car. That was your most exciting player, people. So it is what it is. He's paid the price, really. You know, he's got the clip. Apparently, Conte demands suitable project for Spurs move. Apparently, Antonio Conte will have to have certain demands met if he ends up joining. This comes from Dimarzio, who has reported that today is a decisive day at Tottenham because obviously Nuno's future has been decided. Apparently, if and when he is sacked, which we've now seen in the last minutes that it's been the case, people, Tottenham will press for Conte, and the Italian is more likely to accept the offer from the English club this time around. So again, it doesn't, maybe the United one's gone now. It doesn't seem like, at least for now, things can change at the turn of a hat. You know, you've got the Manchester derby at the weekends. You know, I'm sure City are vexed because, you know, they've lost their last 2 games in all comps. And I know you've got Atalanta. The sentiment can change. We did hear Conte wanted to wait until the summer to assess what could go on because, you know, Conte could have to pick a clubs. You could have Spurs, where, to be fair to you, meaty, but they're showing desire. So think about it. Someone showing that they want you, you're more likely to go there, is it not, people? So that's something maybe for him to consider. The United job, you know, haven't see what's going on there. You know, I don't even know, but another return to Juventus could be a thing, really. Another room of a return to Juventus because Allegri's kind of been rubby. They, you know, Juventus are still moving rubbed in this season. So I don't know if he wants to take hold, and especially like a project with Spurs. Like, I look at the United one and I say, I'll be more likely to take over United mid-season than Spurs because I look at it, I'll be like, listen, there's a lot of surgery needed here. Maybe he relishes that because you get a free hit, but I'll be like, listen, you know, there's a lot of surgery needed here. The defense needs a couple players. You need a couple midfielders. You need couple players to take the, or they could take the goal scoring emphasis off Kane. Defense first, and being the Italian like Conte, he knows that, and he'll get a couple of these players playing better. But you'll see a managerial bounce, but then they need something. As much as Nuno is the full guy and he's not levels and he needed to go, bro, the way Spurs are moving is, other people above him need to take blame as well, because this guy's just a puppet. You need to ask yourself, since losing Pochettino, why isn't it kicked on? Why isn't it banged? Why did you get in a position where, as I said at the start, that my man's even in with a shout, such as if you didn't really want Donny, people? And I'm trying to find, I had some copied and paste things that I was going to bring to you, look. But apparently people at Tottenham are keenly aware of just how bad the team are right now at creating chances. Apparently they ranked 20th for teams this season by shots. They're joint bottom with Norwich. And again, bro, you don't want to be next to Norwich or anything. They're breaking history for being probably one of the shittest teams in the Premier League. Even that Derby team are probably looking at them, people. So it's a bit of a madness, really. They don't create, they don't keep clean sheets. I'm loving it, really and truly. They've lost to Palace, they've lost to Arsenal, they've lost to us. It's the calamitous ones, people, really and truly. So again, his best period at Tottenham was evidently, that August period. Like I said, he's delivered silverware to them, man. He's the first manager I've ever seen in my life to win the league in August. Such was the propaganda, and all these Spurs twats were waffling about how Arsenal this and that. Funny how things change, and the thing is that there's nothing in it with the table. So again, they're actually, if a new manager comes in, they might sit there and say there's stuff to play for. And obviously, when the players start getting inspired, if they see things that mean something, there's still a lot to play for this season. Because as much as Spurs have how poor they've been, there's nobody's out of anything, really and truly. Even Norwich, they sit second, bottom on 2 points. They're not getting out of that. But you can't rule them out. Well, you lot can't rule them out. I can. Bro, them and they are getting relegated. I think that's the only thing confirmation in the league. Which is a shame, people. So it is what it is in that regards, people. Again, you look at the table, what Arsenal are sixth, Tottenham are 8th on 15 points. You're 5 points off West Ham. Again, new managerial bounce, you could do things, really. So the season's not a write-off, such is the sentiment. It's actually not a write-off. So it's down to Spurs to decide what they do in it. But yeah, man, welcome everybody tuned in. I kind of just covered that one very quickly. One love to everybody tuned in. Let me see what you lot are saying in the comments, because I've been airing it and I know you lot have got hella things to say, man. One love to the early birds where Mav and couple of you are concerned. You were making sure I didn't miss out anything in case I didn't see this, and we're here ready to tell me of the impending news, people. Afternoon to you, Omar. It's official, man. Man said slap on the Nuno drip. That's today. Football Manager, I think it's at 4 p.m. Bro, Conte to Spurs is close. Bro, Conte's the coach they need, in it, but they're going to need more than that. He's going to need to be helped out. And as I said, I think it will work in tandem because he's got, the Italian above him. But like Conte, has shown, he'll give you time, he'll give you patience, he'll listen to you. But if he feels you're pulling his leg and you're taking a piss out of him, he'll keep it moving. No decent manager will go there. Now, I'm not too sure on that, as much as I want to believe that, man. I just think, why would he go Spurs? Not even trying to be, but I think so as well. Why would you risk it? But at the same time, boy, things change in life, man. Spurs were getting way too big for their boots. Tim Pot mentality. Final stages for Conte, mad thing. It's looking like such, in it. I mean, Fabrizio Romano is having his 1-2 bits and pieces and bits and bobs to say. He's the latest. He has said. Before I refresh his Twitter, Tottenham are now pushing to convince Conte as new manager to replace Nuno. He's always been top of that list since June, where there was no agreement with Spurs board. I mean, Tottenham still love getting Chelsea's sloppy seconds. Remember when they took George Graham as well, where Arsenal are concerned. But you'll always taking next man's exes and that. But apparently, yeah. So they need to convince Conte. So if the project's there, well, if I'm Conte, you need to be assured that things are going to be put in place. And actually, a minute ago, there's been a new replacement, people. I mean, there's been a new update. He's now saying, this is Fabrizio Romano, Antonio Conte is ready to accept Tottenham proposal. Talks underway, understood to be at final stages. Salary and long-term contract discussed, but he seems convinced to say yes. Negotiations to continue in the next few hours to complete the agreement. So yeah, man, Nuno's been sacked. Conte looks like he's coming in. It's getting serious, man. But you know what they say, the second movies are never really the same as the first, really, which could have been said if Pochettino returned. It could be said on Conte's return to England, people, because for a lot of people think about all the great stuff with Conte, but it does end. He's very much thunder and lightning. It's 100% good things, 100% bad things. When it's great, it's great. When it's calam, it's calam. I think Conte is the manager they need because they need a lot in it. And after a while, the new managerial bounce wears off. But Conte is Conte. If you know football, you listen to him because you can improve as a player. Collectively, if you listen to him, you can do some bits as a team. I think they need him to improve the stop leaking of goals. Like I said, you will see with Conte, you will see an overperformance in certain players this week that we saw against Tottenham, and we said, boy, you man are shit. They're gonna play amazing, and there's gonna be a better system. And as I said, when you sit eighth, 5 points from fourth/fifth, whatever. The season's not a write-off. So that's his big ambition, And like I said, the thing that's probably tipped Conte is to get back in management. Other jobs, Juventus might not be close to sacking Allegri. United, they look like they're staying with Oli. You might say, I'm ready to jump back into management. So it'd be interesting, man. Let's see what's going on there, really and truly. But yeah, in relation to Conte and all them things there, that's all I've got to say. Nuno sacked. I got to clip this just before I go live at 11:30. Nuno sacked by Spurs. Conte close to Tottenham job is what we'll call that there, man. One love to you lot tuned in, people. We've gone everywhere with this. And I think, you know what? The wickedest thing, this morning and last night, I've been planning, 10 a.m. We can talk about this, we got that, we got this, we got that. And then obviously this news has just probably made the bulk of it about that. But this is why you love football, people. Tottenham board feeling more than confident to convince Conte and appoint him as new manager to replace Nuno. He's asking for an important plan for the next transfer window and long-term contract. Parisi is on it. So basically telling him everything he needs to hear and telling him that January in a couple of months, you have to hold it up, use what you can right now at this moment in time. But January, you'll be given assurances. So boy, be keen to see who's going to get rubbed out, man. Really and truly. I'd hope Ndombele isn't, but boy, it's looking mad. Is that real? I need confirmation, top legit. Skip Højbjerg midfield, three at the back settings, man. Three at the back settings. He can't win anything, and his second best player is leaving. Regulon will be flying under. Bro, if you're a wing back and you're a centre half, you're living. Even if you're one of these guys that used to be wingers and now you're a fullback, you're living. You're living. I don't know if he'll be able to get a tune out of Doherty, though, but if his ex-manager couldn't in Nuno, I don't know what else could happen. Man, I say Man United fumbled the bag. Man, are talking about Harry Redknapp returning to Spurs. You're on bands. Kane is going to leave for sure. That might convince him to stay still. I mean, I'm hoping the Conte thing don't bang, but it is what it is. And I think Arsenal fans waffled about Conte. Somebody's tweeting, Nuno Espirito Santo sat from a job he should have never been given in the first place, appointed out of desperation rather than design. Better to recognize that and cut losses rather than continue out of prime. So that was from Colin Miller. And boy, you can't disagree with that, innit? Better to just clip it and say, boy, I mean, it's not working, innit, Nuno? I think Conte's there, man. I know Spurs fans are probably nervous because they've been through this sort of thing before, but yeah, man. Conte, I have to tweet that. Conte, have to run agendas against him, sadly. Have to run agendas. Conte to Tottenham is expected to be finalised by today. Only final details left. A private flight is ready to take Antonio to London. Do you know what? Yeah, bro, Conte's 30 in it, but bro, I don't even think Jesus gets something out of them current squads in it. So let's see what he's doing. Let's see what's happening there, man. 4 months is not long enough to build anything. I just think it's a joke. He got sacked. I hear you, but bro, he showed that I can't lie. Rome wasn't built in a day, but you're not putting up no scaffolding. Nuno was on a cowboy builders thing, so he needed to keep it moving, man. Kane told them, man, the 150 was there. They didn't listen, bro. He's trying to get that chopped to 75, man. City to move again for Kane in the New Year's window is a given. They ain't doing nothing at the moment. Chelsea is clear. Starting the month of strong DG. Josh, come on. You got to, man. You got to, you got to, you got to. Kane is a big man. Most man look up to him in the team. When the olders are moving mad, it's techie. Kane needs to leave. It's true. But when you look at the Spurs team, Kane's in his own world, and Ndombile's going through the motions. Dele Alli's a bit of a forgotten man. Loris, I feel a bit sorry for him because he seems like the only serious one, surrounded by some mugs. Romero probably happy Conte's coming because he probably thought I've been contemplating to sign him for Spurs. I like Davison Sanchez, but loose cannon. What's it? Over reliance on Kane and Son at this moment in time. They're not doing the business. Personally, I think you're gonna, bro. Next week, you're gonna see a lot of these Spurs players. We're gonna be like, boy, where are you lot? Such is football. Because I don't think they were playing for Nuno. It's bad to say, but when you think about it, if you've got a manager in any job you lot do, whether you work in retail, office job, plumber, whatever you lot do, yeah. If your manager's a dickhead, yeah, you don't want to. You're there because you're getting paid. So there's a certain sort of all right, cool. I got to do this job to a 5 out of 10. No one can tell me I'm negligent. No one can tell me I need to lose my job. I got bills to pay in it. But that's the minimum. That's where it's gonna get you. When times are hard, you're not gonna really want to go the extra mile. You're like, well, that's your problem. I don't get paid enough for this. I know my IC3s feel the same way, you know. But if your manager's a nice guy, you're believing in the project, you like the work you're part of. Yeah, you might want to be paid more or whatever, but you're gonna do a bit more. If people really don't deep, if you like someone in life, you're gonna do a bit more for them, really and truly. There's certain content creators that I do content with, and it's not that we don't like each other. It's just a bit weird, isn't it? Like, so I won't do the bare minimum, but there's demand them that if you ask me to do something, bro, I'll deliver beyond it. So do you get it? So I think you're gonna see stuff like that. So we'll have to see, man. We really will have to see. But it is what it is, man. I don't know for having an ex-keeper as a manager. That's something else my Spurs brethren says to me as well. Let me actually read out some of his texts, people. Let me text him. Conte raw because he deserves to have some positivity. But he has said, I repeat, this was on Saturday. I repeat, Nuno out. Fuck this season. How is Ollie looking like a tactical genius? Get Nuno out of my club. Fucking goalkeeper. Appalling. Actually worse than I thought it would be. He wants to get fired. Lo Celso and Højbjerg have been terrible. Easy subs to make. Even Kane off. Why the hell did he take off Mora? Nuno hates Spurs. What the fuck? Just a Nuno outing this season. Watching Spurs lose at the moment. We're playing shit, bro. This is been Nuno onto me, this is him. I'm sorry, I gotta do you dirty, bro. But this is you on the 23rd of October. Yeah, I was like, asked you, did you win 2 L's? He's like, Nuno is so shit. We're still above you, and I said, for now. I told you I was playing chess. You was playing checkers. Man, were telling me, look, bro, I wish you lot could even see the texts. Can you see it? Man, I say, mate, you're ninth and that. Like, he was boying me. I said, you man play some boring football. How can an Arsenal fan say that? This is why Spurs deserve everything, man. A man said, I can't lie. Even from September, man said, sack Nuno now. We're letting this team put pressure on us. Shocking performance, bro. As you can see, Spurs fans have been through the trenches, man. They've been through the trenches. They've been through the trenches, and it's unfortunate. I'm gonna have to pretend Conte is not good. Be like, well, this, has he got the mental? Has he got the? I gotta start being shameless. Has he got the stomach for the Spurs job? He walked away from Inter Milan when they won the league, and he knew Juventus were gonna fight back. Why did it end how it did at Chelsea? Despite the fact that there's been a number of important jobs, why is he not quite been called up? It's unfortunate. I gotta do the shameless thing. Like, I gotta be shameless now regarding him. It's just like Ndombele. Why is it that none of the other big boys went for him and all of these sort of things? Sorry, folks. Sorry, folks. Just sending my little bit of abuse to Spurs fans. Shakib, stop capping for Spurs, man. You're a United fan. So Alex Ferguson didn't build all them things for you to whore yourself out for Spurs, man. Like one stripper and King of Diamonds. Allow it, bro. You can't hang about, mate. You can't hang about me. Best in the business. Swift, mate. In and out. That's what she said. But he never did what he did at Wolves, was forced into the Spurs way. Bro, I'm not being funny. Respect to Spurs, but yeah, man. I mean to Wolves, but man have to change things, man. United players know that if a proper coach comes, most of them will not start. Probably. Arteta might win Squid Games. Bro, it is what it is. Interesting comments. You lot out in your full force, man. Blessings, everyone. I appreciate the engagement. You knew it just took a Spurs gaffer to get sacked for everyone to speak, man. It is what it is. United will probably go for Big Sam now, man. Keep it with Ollie. Yeah, Nuno's sick, but we're gonna have to agenda him, unfortunately. As a Spurs fan, as a United fan, sorry, I'm pissed. Conte is most likely going to Spurs. I don't think it's that deep. Like Conte is amazing and everything there, but you can have it, but you can have the most amazing manager ever. It's about, that's one step, and I can't really judge them until January in the summer. But they need to bring certain but sort of suitable players in. I would say people like Romero are the benchmark, but for every Romero, you got Doherty and these sort of duds that are just not level. So that's where they need to revamp what they're doing, really. So I'm not really that scared until I see proper stuff going on, man. But as long as you got Doherty and Skip and all these man, then I think we can breathe, man. But yeah, this is probably what they need to galvanize them. City won't go back in for Kane. I'm a City fan. It's not the way our board move. City's priorities are Vlahovic and Haaland. You've got a meeting scheduled for Haaland in January. Personally, I think Haaland knows whatever next club he's going to already, but it is what it is. Nuno was never going to make it at Spurs. Got dropped from Wolves for a reason. True. Big up DG. Thanks for these early streams, man. You're the only morning person who goes live. Appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you lot for being there, man. DG, I feel depressed, man. You are finished at the top level. Stadium fans will continue singing Ollie's at the wall when he relegates United in year 2028. You just got to try and remove the emotional attachment to football. Like, I'm incredibly attached to Arsenal, but it's like the losses and everything there is just myth. It's just a myth, man. There's no point having emotion with it, man. As a Chelsea fan, Conte's erased everything, can go F himself. To be fair to you, it's a job though, bro. I hear you, but yeah, man, like it's a job for him, innit? Like he didn't grow up on King's Road. Like it's a job to him. He don't know about no Tottenham Chelsea thing. Looking like we might have to stop the Tottenham getting battered, get battered everywhere they go. Shouts at this moment in time, people. Absolutely crazy, but who cares, man? It is what it is. This sort of stuff's exciting for the league, man. Boy, I can't lie to you though. If Conte that little 3 year period, however long he's there, if he doesn't win a trophy for Spurs, we got some bants. But they're the only man that had Jose, and Jose. When you think of Jose, whatever you have to say, that man is addicted to winning. Not when he goes to them man there though. And let me actually look out my window, people. I'm sure. Can I see? Like the Batman sign. Can I see one about Conte? It was raining yesterday. It's getting sunny in London, in North London. For those who don't know, I can see the Tottenham Stadium. Unfortunately, from my ground, I know I can see the world's biggest toilet. It's a Mazza, innit? You know. I heard sometimes God takes a dump in there at night. God forgive me. Don't bring that up at heaven, please. When it's Judgment Day, I shouldn't have been making jokes for my subscribers. I know I'm trying to touch heaven. But boy, it is what it is, people. Enough about these Spurs lads, though, man. Let's leave them to do what they're doing. If they're doing that, they're doing that. So, how many managerial sackings has there been now in the league? There's been Watford sacked their gaffer. Watford gaffer's been sacked. Ollie's been sacked. Man said Ollie. Watford gaffer's been sacked. Ollie's been close, but not sacked. Steve Bruce has been sacked. Steve Bruce, Watford Donny, Steve Bruce. Someone else has therefore been clipped. Nuno, obviously. Is there four? There's not four. I think there's three. I wonder who's the next bookie's favourite car. It don't look like Falca's getting the sack from Norwich. It seems like his job is quite secure despite their failings. I mean, the caretaker gaffer at Newcastle ain't keeping that job, even though we're forcing it a bit there, innit, really? Yeah, Brucey's gone. Nuno's gone. Villa might sack their gaffer soon, bro. Dean Smith is looking long still. It's a nice stadium. I don't know if it's a nice stadium. You have to ask someone, man. I mean, in life, everyone says they will never do things, man. You know, everyone says it. Things happen, innit? And again, Jose, well, he can have his affection with Chelsea, but it's a job at the same time. Nigel Pearson from Watford with Conte to Spurs. What do you think they can win this season? I don't know, but they definitely have a stronger chance of qualifying them in and among Europe. You know, and to be fair to you, that's another thing he struggles, man, with. Ollie next, but Ollie's a survive. Ollie and Arteta got the same. Well, I don't know what they're doing, but they got the same. They got the same sort of dark hearts because they just survived their jobs. Where Arteta should have been clipped this time last year. You know, really, no one should have survived that November. And at another club, or if that was Uno Emery, a manager gets clipped. But it is what it is, man. And to be fair to you, Conte is going to have to revamp things. So we're going to see. But this is why I love football, people. You know, it's fantastic to sit here and speak to you guys about such people. We got a first time viewer. Appreciate that from Forever Spurs. I think that is. Unfortunately, you know, you clearly have a good taste in content creators. Not so much in football clubs, but we've all got problems in life, really. I can't lie. Nuno put in a shift by playing bad to get Conte. But hey, maybe Nuno is, in fact, a Spurs fan, really. But yeah, man, I think you'll see a managerial bounce now. And to be fair to you, what is Tottenham Hotspur's next fixture list, Carl? Again, for Conte, it could be peak. And what I mean by peak is, bro, he's gonna have to withstand. He's gonna have to take some bullets before he's able to shoot back. Because you look at the Spurs team again; they're gonna need a lot of work. I'm not gonna be disrespectful to Nuno, but it evidently, to me, anyways, it don't look like there's a proper coaching thing going on. Systems defensively, where you need to be on the transition and all these things. It looks like genuinely looks like Conte's got to take man back to basics. Apart from probably Romero, people got to go back to basics. Obviously, if I'm Tanganga, I'm relishing it. You know, if you're a defender, you should want to play under Conte and learn under Conte and all these things. I'm trying to find Tottenham's fixtures, people, because yeah, here it is. I just want to see like if he takes over today, what's he got? So in terms of November, right? November is not that deep, you know. It's deep, but it's not that deep. But you've got, you know, his first game. I don't think he'll be in charge by Thursday, but you never know. It's Monday. He's got Vitesse. You know, you got Vitesse, Everton away, Tottenham versus Leeds, and you've got Conference League. And so in the league, he's got Burnley away, Everton away, and Leeds at home. And he's got, you know, 2 Conference League games between Vitesse and Maribor. Feels like Spurs been playing Maribor for years. December is peak for everyone. You know, December and January, again, I'm sure, you know, they're hoping business is done, but you've Brentford at home, Norwich at home, probably need to take 6 points from that. Rennes in the Conference League, Brighton away, Leicester away, Liverpool at home, Palace at home, Southampton away, Watford away, Arsenal at home, and Chelsea away back to back. So that's what Conte will be taking over, provided he was to walk in. So again, this is where. And even if it isn't going to be Conte in this unlikely world, they need to support whoever that next gaffer is because they can't do it alone. I think that's one thing that I'll give to Nuno is he's clearly out of his depth, but you can't just say it's a managerial thing. That squad has not been replenished, you know. Remember when Spurs had that back five? Loris is still there, but they had the Belgium lads and the 2 English boys at fullback. You know, I think Regulon's got potential. I think Regulon's a good fullback. I think Loris, you can still persist with him. I think Romero's a very good right centre half. Right back, you need to know what you're doing. It is what it is, sort of thing. So yeah, enough about for real now. Enough about Spurs, man. We've been waffling about that. Dyer about to look like a prime Christensen. He probably will, bro. Look at Rudiger under Lampard. He look bog standard. One of the best centre halves in world football and the Premier League, without a doubt. So new managers can change things. You never know. I don't know how much attacking football you're gonna see under him, but it is what it is. What does this mean for Arsenal now that Spurs are getting Conte? Bro, it shouldn't mean anything. Do what you're doing. You know, you need to do what you're doing. New managers are always going to come in. The Prem's always going to get competitive, whether it's new managers coming in or whether it's, or whether it's new players. Just do what you're doing. Focus on how you can improve. Don't watch other people's situation because, you know, before any of that, Arsenal have a bag of things they need to improve off their own back. And it's not just us, it's everyone, people. Conte is expected in London soon to complete talks on final details with Tottenham, deal at the final stages for the new manager. Conte is more than tempted to accept Tottenham's offer, having already worked with Parisi at Juventus. And that's probably what a big tip, you know, when you can trust someone, you know how a man works, you know that it might not be empty promises. Something could happen here, and it could be an Italian job where Tottenham are concerned. Now, hopefully, it isn't that. But yeah, man, keep your Tottenham Hotspur opinions coming if you want.